Why is it important to take a break from technology? Are you feeling overwhelmed? By the end of this video, you're going to discover why it just might be time for you to take a digital detox. First, we're going to talk about the health toll that technology takes on us as humans. Then we're going to take a look at how technology and relationships are interconnected. And I'm going to give you some practical tips for taking time off. Are you ready to get started? Let's go. So why is it important to take time off from technology? Number one, for your mental health. I won't even beat you over the head with all the studies, but I'm sure that you've seen repeatedly in the news how many times studies have shown that people who are actively engaged in social media for an extended period of time start to feel depression, start to get FOMO, that fear of missing out. All in all, social media and those types of technologies don't necessarily have the best impact on our health if we use them for an extended period of time. And so taking a break from technology allows us to take a break from comparing ourselves to other people. It allows us to take a break even from examining ourselves sometimes to the point where it's too much. So we talk about social media and its impact on our mental health, but let's talk about some of the more practical technologies that we might even use for work. Let's look at Zoom. I bet when people ask you now to turn on your Zoom camera, most likely you're kind of like, most people are over it. And it's not just Zoom, it's any of the virtual conferencing software now. Why is that? There's nothing natural about talking to people for an extended period of time and seeing yourself. Think about it. In everyday life, when you're talking to someone, there's no mirror floating around where you're seeing if your lipstick is smeared or if your forehead looks shiny or if you don't like your mustache. That's mostly for the men, but sometimes me too. Sometimes I don't get a chance to get it waxed. It is what it is, right? But my point is this, it's not natural to look at yourself. And when you do look at yourself, because it's like looking in a mirror, you naturally critique. You try to be mindful of how you're sitting and how you look. And so you're not even giving full attention to that other person. But it also takes a mental toll. That's why oftentimes we're more tired after Zoom meetings than if we had an in-person meeting with those exact same number of people. It's draining. So taking a technology break might be something that would be helpful to you. Now let's talk about physical health. Now I'm not one of those old fogies that says things like, well, back in my day, we went outside and did this. But back in my day, we did play outside more. It is what it is. I have younger nieces and nephews, and I'm not saying none of them play outside. Some of them are actually world champions in sports. I'm related to people who are obviously much more athletic than I am. But my point is this. In general, children are not playing outside as much. We see obesity rates are increasing. Kids are spending more time playing video games, on social media, and watching YouTube videos. This is not a critique of the time. This is an observation of what is actually happening based on research. So there's bound to be long-term effects outside of just an increase in obesity. Without having as much exercise, that also impacts mental health. So the kids are not actually getting the same dose of dopamine and other positive brain chemicals that make them feel good. So understand that overuse of technology impacts the likelihood of us getting regular exercise and getting out. Now, I'm talking about children because it's easier and adults feel comfortable. They're like, oh yeah, these kids. But let's be honest, it's some of us too. In fact, you can even go to the gym and see people who are supposed to be working out and you see them watching a show or they're moving in slow motion or they're trying to read an ebook or something. They're not really getting any exercise. They're going in slow motion, not really doing anything. Now, I want to be very clear. I'm not shaming people that do low impact exercise. I mean, I'm watching people that are trying to exercise at a certain level be distracted by their devices. So from a physical standpoint, it doesn't necessarily help us in the long run. Now, there can be some positives too. Like many of us actually have things like health watches. This is a Fitbit. This is something that helps me know my level of activity every day, my heart rate. So I'm not here to say it's all bad, but it can have a negative effect on our physical health. When we take breaks from technology, it can definitely make our relationships better. I bet there have been times where you've gone to restaurants or you've had dinner with friends or family and you look around the table and everyone's on their devices. And I don't know about you, it makes me a little sad when it doesn't make me mad. Now, if I'm the one who cooked a big meal, I'm actually angry. But if I'm just there, I'm like, oh, this is sad. We can't just sit here and enjoy ourselves. And so I'm usually the one who institutes the rule that everyone puts their phone down. Like at my dinner table, we don't look at phones. Those are my rules, right? But When we put down technology, it allows us to build better face-to-face interactions. You might be more likely to play board games with your family or have actual conversations. Even in the workplace, technology, while it can make us more efficient in our communications, there's nothing that replaces those water cooler conversations or the inspiration that happens when you're walking through the hallway and you just bump into someone from another department. You get to talking and maybe you think of a new idea for the company. That doesn't happen in Zoom. You're never just randomly walking through a Zoom hallway and run into someone, right? And so understand that limiting our technology or taking a break can actually strengthen relationships. To give you an example of how I take technology breaks, one of the things that I do is I take the entire month of December off. When I say I take the month of December off, I mean I take it off. I don't answer a single email. I don't read a single email. I disconnect from all social media. I don't read it. I don't look at it. I don't have the apps on my phone anymore. I do nothing related to work, nothing related to social media. And as a result, I have the opportunity to spend the entire month resting, spending time with my husband. My nieces and nephews come over usually for several days. Family flies into town. I spend more time baking. Y'all probably don't know this, but your girl is an excellent baker, okay? But I get to spend time on those relationships and those things that matter. And it carries me through the rest of the year where sometimes I'm keynoting at 3 or 4 events in a week. So I'm just flying from city to city. Right now, my husband has not seen me in about a week, right? So during those times where I take time off from technology and take time off in general, I'm able to really invest time in relationships that carry me through the busy times. And you can do the same because I'm willing to bet there's times where you're busy at work and maybe you don't get to spend quite as much time with your loved ones as you'd like. Investing that time when you do take breaks makes the difference. One of the other benefits of disconnecting from technology is increased creativity. Many of us have had these amazing ideas when we're in the shower. Why is it so many people get ideas in the shower? It's because we're not doing anything else. We're not watching TV in the shower. We're not on social media in the shower. At least I hope not. You know, in most of my videos, I say things like I'm not judging you, but please understand, if you're on social media in the shower, I am most certainly judging you right now. I just want to be honest with you. Judgment everywhere, right? But here's the thing. It allows us to be more creative because we don't have all these other inputs. We're able to just be in a space. So the same thing happens when it comes to just everyday life walking around. It's good to be not listening to music sometimes, or sometimes not looking at your phone. I talked about disconnections from technology, and I mentioned that I take the month of December off, but I'll give you a few other examples. Sometimes I take technology-free days where the whole day I'll use my car. That's technology, but I'll use that. But I turn off my phone. My husband knows where I'm going or what I'm doing. You know, immediate family, so no one's panicked. I don't listen to the radio. I don't watch TV. The phone is off, so I'm not doing anything on that. And I'll just drive around aimlessly and have an adventure. Go wherever I just feel like going. There's no plans. I might stop at one place. I'll stop at a museum. I'll meet someone. They might say, hey, this is an interesting conversation. Let's have lunch. Okay, lady, let's go. I just have a day of adventure and randomness. And sometimes I'll even I live in Houston. I might end up in Galveston. This has happened a few times. I'll get a hotel room there. And again, I tell my husband ahead of time kind of what's going to happen. I put a cover over the TV in the hotel room so I'm not even tempted to look at that. And I have a book. I bring a physical book. When I come out of times like that, or even my December breaks, my creativity is off the charts. And so oftentimes I'll come back from these breaks, and that's how I was able to write my 2 books, The Social Media Why and One Tech Action. I was able to write both of those books in 4 days. Now, mind you, it took much longer to edit the books, but my point was that my brain just had so much and it was firing off so fast. It was like being a long shower where you have the opportunity to just sit with your thoughts, and when you're ready to go, they just poured out. So understand that taking technology breaks can actually make you more creative. So let's talk about some tips for taking technology breaks. The first thing I want to do is I want to invite you to offer yourself grace. We can't all take a month off in December. And please know I'm not ridiculous enough to think that that's something everyone can do, right? We have different types of jobs, different responsibilities. I don't have any children. So I want you to know that we all have to do things within our own boundaries, and I recognize that. But maybe it's taking a technology-free hour. Maybe it's locking yourself in the bathroom for 30 minutes when your mate gets home and saying you're in charge of the kids, and just spending 30 minutes taking a long bath. Whatever that break looks like for you, do it. Maybe it's handing your mobile phone to your mate and saying, don't give this to me again until Monday morning and it's Friday evening. Monitor it for something important. If these 3 people call, answer it. But other than that, I want to give my attention to you. So be creative and be willing to ask for help and do what's within the confines of what makes sense for you. Not everyone can turn their phone off for 24 hours. I mentioned again, I don't have children. But do what you can do, because while technology can make us more efficient, effective, and connected, it has made our lives better in so many ways. We do want to make sure that we take breaks because we want to ensure that we're controlling the technology and the technology is not controlling us. I do have one more gift for you though. We're talking about taking breaks from technology because we're planning for what comes next. We want to make sure we're operating at our best. So I have another tool that will help you operate at your best. In the description of this video, you see a link to download the Future Ready Playbook. This is a playbook that I designed just for you to help you future-proof yourself, your career, and your organization through various activities. It's very easy to follow. All you have to do is download it today and get started.